So hey guys, Tom here with Back Garden Bushcraft. It's a really warm, sticky day and I fancied getting out and getting some sunshine in the woods. So I brought my hammock, I brought some carvings that I've done and haven't shown on YouTube. You might have seen them over the years if you followed me on Instagram, but I have got some new ones as well. I just want to sort of discuss sort of other options for carving, because I'm known to sort of love my spoon carving, my spatula making and things that are practical. But I also just like carving and making for the sake of it, for making's sake. So I want to sort of show some other ideas, just to sort of spread the ideas so that other people can maybe get some inspiration for things they might want to make, and then they can tag me in it and I can see what they've made and they can inspire me to make other things. So that's the idea, a little bit of a discussion. I've brought my crossbow so we can do some target shooting. I've got a pot noodle so we can have a little bit of lunch. And yeah, just going to enjoy being outside. There's nothing better in my opinion than being outside. I've had a bit of a sort of annoying few weeks because I went trail running, stupid thing to do. Who said running's good for you? And I fell down a hill because I obviously went on a really muddy slope and head over heels landed all my weight on my ankle. And I'm not a light guy, so that was a lot of weight. And there was a pop and tendon damage and all sorts of stuff. So I'm properly strapped up. And yeah, I'm on painkillers, but I'll be all right. So yeah, it's just nice to be out because it's been a bit frustrating not being able to get to the woods as much as I've wanted because of the ankle. On top of that, next weekend, I'm picking up my own little adventure puppy, Bramble. So when she's big enough, I'll be bringing her out to the woods. So look forward to a little four-legged companion joining me on future camps. But yeah, that's really exciting. So very excited about that. And I'm now on summer holidays. So it's been a really amazing year at my new job. I've got to teach bushcraft to so many kids, as well as doing my sort of academic stuff. So it's just been so rewarding. At the end of the year, at least a third of the year 5 class said that their highlight of the year was bushcraft and doing bushcraft with me. We've just done so much. We've done everything from knife safety, saw use, tool use, fire lighting, tinders, natural materials, knots. We've done pot hangers, we've done shelters, we've done tarps, we've done navigation, we've done lore, we've done leave no trace, putting out fires, all this sort of stuff. And it's just been like the most amazing experience to share this love for bushcraft with young people. And yeah, they've been really responsible and really conducive to learning, and it's just been great to see. So I look forward to doing more of that next year and really getting more kids involved in bushcraft. But for now, it's time for me to just enjoy myself and enjoy my summer. So hence, headed to the woods, come and have a chat with you guys, and yeah, just enjoy being outside. So I'm going to get a fire on, we're going to have a little coffee, I reckon, and then yeah, I'll show you some carvings. Now I've brought you over to one of my day camp spots in my woods, and the reason is because it's got a nice mossy stump which I can sit on here and I can show you my carvings on there. I want to talk about how we can get in a rut, or not a rut, but we can get in our comfort zone. So for me, my favourite thing to carve is spatulas. They're so practical, they're so useful, and they don't take very long. So I can carve a spatula whenever I like. And I find it really relaxing, really therapeutic. But I no longer find it difficult. So sometimes I'll decide to do something a little bit harder, hence spoon carving. And I love spoon carving. I teach people how to carve spoons. I carve an awful lot of spoons. But sometimes it's nice to even push yourself even that little bit further. Okay, so I started off developing a few ideas for carving. So I came up with a way of doing a butter knife that has sort of a wider handle than the blade, a bit like a sort of a belt knife, where you've got this handle that's thicker that you can grip, and then you've got a transition to a thin blade. I realised I was still only thinking practically, and my favourite carver of all time often talks about this, the fact that you can carve just for art's sake, for carving's sake. And that man's Giles Newman, and he's a huge inspiration and friend for me. He's helped me a lot over the years with my carving, and just is an all-round stand-up guy. So if you haven't seen his beautiful carvings, I mean, his carvings are in a league of their own. He carves things that are museum quality artworks. Not all, but mostly based around the form of a spoon, and they could have thorns twisting around it. They could be going into a blooming mushroom. They could have a beautiful sort of horse carved into the design. And he started going into sculpture carving as well, where he's carved these beautiful female forms out of wood. He's just an insane artist, and he sort of was the person that initially inspired me to try carving a few pendants. So if you've seen on Instagram, you've probably seen over the years I've carved a number of pendants. I've done oak leaves, I've done feathers, I've done axes. But yeah, I've also tried some other things that I wanted to try carving. Not necessarily inspired by Giles's work specifically, but just his sort of way of thinking of actually it's okay to carve something that isn't necessarily just functional. It can be just a lovely thing. It can be a thing just to look at or a thing to hold. And I found that really liberating, that idea. So I thought what I'd do today is show you a few of the things I've carved, starting with my standard sort of spoons and spatulas, and progressing towards the thing I carved yesterday, which is a bit balmy, a bit out there. My carving is nowhere near people like Giles. I'm a solid carver. I can carve spoons and spatulas, but I'm not an artist. So first up, we'll start with the practical, the sort of go-to for me, which is a knife-only spatula. This is just one rough carved out of ash, no sanding at all, just using an axe and a knife. And this is one I've actually used for a good few years, so you can see the sort of burn marks from cooking, but it's still elegant in its functionality. So yeah, carving spatulas is really fun. Taking that one step further is sort of spoon carving, because you have the bowl to worry about, and with these you can get pretty fancy with the shapes. This is a round bowled one that I did for sort of porridge or soup, and then I've got a little protection rune on there, just scored in with the knife. So I've done all sorts of things with spoons, including like basket weave patterns down the handle, colressing, and things like that, and chip carving. Milk paint is a really good way of spicing up a carving as well. So this one's made of cherry, and yeah, it's a really fun thing to do. So I love spoon carving. I think it's a meditative and relaxing way of spending time, and you get something very practical. So moving on, we have a sort of butter knife here. This is a very large one. I'd not sort of seen anyone else's design that inspired this. This was sort of me just playing around. I'm sure other people do it like this as well, but I actually cut in here so that the blade is thinner than the handle. It means you've got a nice grip when you're spreading the butter. This was a particularly figured piece of wood. I can't actually remember what type of wood it was, but it's got nice spalting in it. But yeah, butter knives and letter openers are another really fun thing to carve, and they're practical for the kitchen. They're useful. How could I forget the classic? This thing has been in my videos for so many years. So before I move on to the not practical ones, let's have my most used carving. This is my cookser, carved out of willow years ago. You can see the colour the inside's taken from the amount of coffee that I've drunk in it. I love this thing, and I wouldn't part with it. I love it very, very much. Of all my carvings, this is my sort of favourite carving that I've ever done. And I use it all the time. I even drink coffee with it at home. So whoever says you can't carve out a willow, they're not telling the truth, because this is willow, and it's holding up fine. So another practical thing you can make is a little chopping board. This one's made out of oak with a raw edge where I've left the bark on. I think it looks really nice and it's functional. And I've actually made this one for camping. So really fond of this thing. It will last many, many years of service. And yeah, it's a fun thing to carve. Trying to get the surface, the wider you go, trying to get that surface nice and smooth. If you're just relying on tool finish, is a nice little challenge, and trying to keep the bark on as well is good fun. So yeah, you can do all sorts of wacky designs with these. I sort of chopped the corners off, not sure why, just sort of thought it looked nice. But yeah, they're a really, really fun thing to carve. So the first on just sort of carving for the sake of it is actually like just a stick wand. They're really simple to make, they're really fun. They're great if you've got kids, or if you're a big kid like me and enjoy books like Harry Potter and films like Harry Potter. If you want to just shout Crucio and point this at someone, it's good fun. So it's really good as well, because you can sort of go out with your family and just find a stick that's got weird quirks. This one had a crack all the way through it, and then this big sort of round nodule here going into a knot. And so I just use that as the design of the wand, and it's just really good sort of bit of fun. And yeah, it's quite a tactile, nice thing. My wife actually keeps this because she really likes Harry Potter. She actually keeps this by her desk for when she's working, in case she needs to put a curse on anyone. So moving on to little cute things. These are sort of inspired by various different carvers, but probably mostly Doug Linker. I'll put his channel down in the description, along with Giles Newman and everyone else I've talked about. He carves little figures, and by watching his videos it sort of got me playing around, and again, mine are nowhere near his sort of level, but it's a cute rubber ducky. Who doesn't want a cute little rubber ducky made of wood? Taking that one step further, you can do little totems, totem pole sort of things. This is an owl totem pole sort of thing I made. They're just fun little creations. I did a lot of these in lockdown. I don't do them so much now, just because they take a long time. But my favourite of these, I've got a number of little men I made, but this is Graham. He's my favourite little dude I made. Little sort of hobbit guy. He's very heavily, fall out of frame. He's definitely very heavily Doug inspired. And I followed a few of his tutorials, but they're really fun to make. And then this guy is inspired by Ghost Town Living, the YouTube channel. Tried to make Brent Underwood out of wood. And yeah, it's good fun. You can paint them and have a whole load of fun with little figures. So yeah, little figure carving, completely other thing. It's just a nice way of spending time when you're outside. And you get these cute little men or women and animals that you can sort of put around your house and make you smile. I find them a good little pick-me-up when I see them peeking out from behind a book at me. So I didn't bring any of my pendants with me, but I did bring this little tiny model, and you can see how tiny it is because that's my thumbnail. But this is a Bushcraft knife model, a Woodlaw style knife, just carved out of a piece of wood. It didn't take me very long, and it's just a nice little item. It has no use, it has no purpose, but I enjoyed carving it, and I enjoy holding it, I enjoy looking at it, and it's just a nice thing. And for me, if it's a little fidget toy, a little morale, a bit of pocket lint if I carry it, but other times it just sits on my shelf and looks pretty. But I really, really love it. It's just a tiny, tiny little Bushcraft knife. I don't have a Woodlaw knife with me, but sort of next to my little Field and Steel, sort of give you an idea of just how, because that's a small knife as well, that Field and Steel, but sort of give you an idea how tiny it is. And yeah, again, you got that thicker handle than blade. Yeah, really, really happy with that. It's just a fun little project. And if you've never had a go at miniature carving, I've done miniature axes, miniature knives, I've done miniature spoons, I've done miniature spatulas. It's just a good laugh. So if you haven't tried it, give it a go. Okay, that's just a very, 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 very small tip of the iceberg when it comes to all the things I've carved over the last couple of years. I've carved hundreds and hundreds of wooden things of all different shapes, sizes, types. I literally just grabbed a handful of them when I went out the house. I could have chosen infinite numbers of other examples to show you, but I hope that my selection has shown you that you can carve spoons, you can carve spatulas, you can carve things like the little tiny knife that has absolutely no use, and it's just as fun, just as rewarding. And challenging yourself to make a mini thing is sometimes harder than actually making something that's useful. If you want to go into little figure carving, 100% recommend doing it. It's a really, really rewarding thing, making these 3D people. And it really does make you think about how you can sort of cartoonify someone into just a small little dude. I'm very proud of these guys because they're fun and I love them. I would be very sad if I lost these. So when my dog comes, these are going on a high shelf because I don't want them getting eaten. But yeah, little Brent Underwood and a little Hobbit guy. So yeah, except hobbits don't have beards, so not a Hobbit guy, but a guy. Right, with that done, I'm going to just go and get the final carving that I brought with me. Now this is inspired by my love of metal music and my love of survival horror video games and the fact that I've been getting into watching horror films. And so I combined all those inspirations and just went at a piece of wood. I had a huge chunk of willow that I'd chainsawed out, and I just went at it with my tools. I didn't draw a single thing on it. And my idea initially was to sort of do like a face, and then it changed into making a sort of mask, a metal mask. So yeah, it was sort of just a playing around, but it just was fun, and it was just carving for the sake of carving. So let me turn it around and I'll show you the other side. So that's my mask. I think it's pretty creepy, and I tried to keep the bark on and use like knots for noses, and it's just pretty cool. I mean, I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It was completely organic, just me messing around trying to make a creepy horror metal mask. As a metalhead who loves masked bands, I just thought it was cool making my own and doing it in a bushcraft sort of manner, because I know a lot of people 3D print masks for heavy metal bands and things, but it was cool to actually whittle one. You can see it fits my face really easily. Problem is you can't hear me speak when I've got it on, I'm sure, so it fits my head really well, but I would need some sort of mic if I was going to be speaking to you. So I do actually have a mic, I could go and get it. Anyway, yeah, so it looks good, but I can make it a whole nother level of creepy if I put a balaclava and a hood on. Did I scare you? It's just a real tree balaclava. I'm going to combine it with my creepy mask that I carved and put my hood up and hope none of my neighbours arrive to their patches of woodlands and spot this woodlands creature walking around, as they might freak out. So at least I won't have to face any embarrassment, because anyone that spots me wearing any of this stuff will just run away. Might have to call Emma and get me bailed out. But anyway, I'm going to put this on and then just show you just how spooky it looks, really. And there you go. Doesn't take long to mask up, and Cuddly Tom becomes Spooky Man. Might come in use at Halloween, or if I just need to scare anybody, but I'm not very scary, so probably wouldn't work. But anyway, really cool little project, and I enjoyed it, and it's going to go in the man cave. So guys, the woods are doing really well. I've been coming up here and doing work in here as much as I can. We definitely have some ash dieback, so eventually the canopy is going to get thinner as the ash trees fall, but it's going to allow the other trees hopefully to thrive. And we do have lots of new growth trees as well. So over the course of the last few months, what I've been doing is felling danger trees. I've still got a few to do, and just making timber stacks. So there's quite a few that I've made, but it's allowing loads of light in to the forest floor. I'm seeing lots of sort of flora sprouting up. So I'll keep you posted, but I'm loving learning all about the woodland and learning how to maintain it. So yeah, it's been a thoroughly enjoyable experience. While my coffee is cooling down as well, I want to give a shout out to Storb Unlimited Bushcraft. I recorded a clip for his video because he did a discussion on what bushcraft is. And me and a group of other people, Joe Flowers, Fired Woods, and himself, recorded our definitions of bushcraft. And he had a really interesting, passionate discussion about how broad the term bushcraft should be, and sort of deterring gatekeeping of it, and looking at a really sort of practical definition of bushcraft. So I'm going to put my clip in here. It's only a couple of minutes for you to watch, but what I would really appreciate you doing is, my clip is only a minute and a half of a like 20-minute discussion. So what I reckon you should all do is go over to Storb's video, Storb Unlimited Bushcraft. I'll put the link in the description. Tell him I've sent you, okay, and go and watch his video. It's a really, really good practical discussion of bushcraft. And yeah, it would mean a lot to me if you checked it out. So guys, I see bushcraft as an all-encompassing term for any skill that allows you to be fully immersed in nature. It's a lifetime of learning, skills that allow adventures and trips to the woods to be safer, more efficient and more enjoyable. On a deeper level, it's an understanding, a connection to, and a pact of mutual respect with forests, with waterways, with mountains, with any natural space that allows you to work with the environment to achieve your own enjoyment. So bushcraft is also a thread of skills that links us to our environment, but it also links us to the past. It links us to our ancestors, those who came before us, because they relied on these skills to survive and thrive. And by learning bushcraft, by practicing bushcraft, we are keeping skills that would otherwise be lost alive. So to me, more important than any one bushcraft skill is the fact that bushcraft brings people together. It brings people from different walks of life, it forms bonds, it forms friendships, and it creates a beautiful community. And I think that's a really special thing. On top of that, I firmly believe that bushcraft and outdoors, being outside, is essential for well-being, especially in our modern fast-paced society. So to me, bushcraft promotes a well-being, it promotes an outdoor spirit, and it allows you to live life properly. So I see bushcraft as something very important and something to be celebrated and applauded. So guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing that little clip. As I said, that is from Storb Unlimited Bushcraft's great video on the definition of bushcraft. So do me a favour, go over and watch that video, watch it till the end, and drop Storb a comment, give him some love. He's a really, really great channel and a good friend of mine. So I would appreciate it if you go over and say hi. So guys, once I've finished my coffee, I'm actually going to do a bit of plinking with the crossbow. You haven't seen it in my videos for a long time. You've seen me use my other bows, my compound bow, my recurve, my air rifles. I shoot all those things all the time. But the crossbow I've had a bit of a sort of mental block with, just because there's been a few sort of news stories about people using crossbows in really nasty ways. I won't go into that now, but it sort of put me off using it just because of the perception associated and the associations with it. But I bought it as a sporting thing for me to come and shoot targets with in the woods, and just to be a sort of responsible owner of it, and enjoy it for what it is, which is it's a bow that's incredibly accurate. It sort of crosses archery and shooting together, both of which I'm a huge proponent of archery, and also a massive fan of target shooting. When I went to the States, I loved shooting the full bore stuff. I love doing clay pigeon shooting. I love air rifles, small game, all that sort of thing. And I come here and I plink with air pistols, air rifles all the time. And every chance I get out with clay pigeon shooting and stuff in the local area. So shooting is something I really enjoy. I've got all my bows, I do archery and practice that all the time. It's just the association of that crossbow. The crossing of the two seems to get really, people just assume you're up to no good with them. So I'm going to get past that today and actually just use it for what I bought it for, which is fun. There's no one else here. There's not a single soul in these woods for miles. So I'm safe to use it. I've got backstop, I've got 2 targets. So I'm being responsible. But if you have a crossbow and if you use a crossbow, you have to realize that it is a deadly piece of equipment and you have to treat it with the utmost respect. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to sign off the video here as well, because I filmed what I wanted to film. I wanted to show you the carvings. I wanted to talk to you about getting you out, carving something different, maybe getting out of that comfort zone of carving the same thing over and over again. And I showed you the mask, which I thought was pretty cool. But I've just checked my battery and I've got 10% left, and I wanted to get a few clips of the crossbow. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. I hope it's given you some ideas of things you might want to go and make yourself. Please let me know if you do, if this video helps you get ideas for other things to make, or any sort of stories and craft ideas you've got for me. Just drop them in the comments. I love to hear them. But thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you with some music on while I use my crossbow to hit a few targets with my last 10% of battery. All right, guys, I'll see you in my next video very, very soon.